This is a tool that I use to do my edges with. It's the one that I rely on the most. This is an edge control created by Ebens that works really well. I just started using it. And here are a few more tools that people use to do their edges. I typically use the first one I showed you guys just because it works better for me. And here are two products that I use to hold my lace closure down. And here is the brush that I use to actually apply the product onto my lace closure. I am going to begin by showing you guys how I enforce my lace closure to stay on or to stay tight and down. I'm trying to use the brush, but I don't typically use the brush. I just use my fingers. It's better, but the brush helps so your fingers doesn't get all sticky because the Got2b glued and the hairspray is actually pretty sticky, and it makes your fingers really sticky, and it's kind of hard to use the other tools when doing your edges when your fingers are sticky. So I'm going to now get my blow dryer to blow dry it down. You should hold the blow dryer down onto the lace closure all the way until the closure is actually dry. And this is actually a sew-in, not a wig, but a sew-in. I sewed the closure down, just a full sew-in, but typically when I did my closure sew-in the first time, I actually put the Got2b glued and hairspray onto the closure when I first did my installment. But with this one, I had actually installed the closure pretty tight, and I didn't need to use any glue or anything to reinforce the closure to actually hold it down onto my scalp. It was pretty flat. So now I'm going to show you guys how I actually define my part on my closure to make it look a little bit more natural. So I took concealer, I put it on my hand, and I just began to dab it with the eyebrow brush onto the part. And the concealer that I'm using is not my actual skin tone. It's lighter, which typically your scalp is lighter than your actual skin tone, so it'll look more natural. This is the concealer that I used. Pro Concealer is by LA Girl. It's the same concealer I use for my eyebrows actually to outline them. Once I actually define my part, I'll take a toothbrush to begin to blend the concealer down so it won't look so much like I just apply makeup to it. And my edges are actually kind of blonde a little bit. I don't know why, but they are. And so sometimes I get black eyeshadow and I put it down onto my edges just because I don't want it to look like my color is disappearing or something. It'll look dumb, but it didn't look so bad, so I left it.